5-year cycle. In a 5-year cycle, you will find the 2 operations. The one operation is light pruning.
LP means light pruning. On prune 1, on prune 2, then DS, again UPD 1, then we'll go for LP.
LP.
More than 20 years you are managing, or you and your father are managing here the tea gardens, several tea gardens, not only in Darjeeling but also in India overall, in an organic way. So what was the motivation for you as a young man to get into the tea business?
I'll just give you some quick context on this entire family journey. It was started by my grandfather. He was a son of the soil here in Darjeeling, grew up working here in Darjeeling, and he was really one of the first people in the organic movement here to really believe that organic is the way forward. It's not a marketing tool. It's the way sustainable agriculture will last on a long-term basis. And I really grew up with those ideals of my grandfather and my father. When I used to visit the farms with them, and hear and see all these different organic preparations and techniques. So having grown up with it, in a lot of ways, this is the only way of life we know, the organic way of life. And now when I, as an adult, when I introspect on the benefits we have seen with organic practices across all our farms and small farmer projects, what we see is, I could broadly define it in 3 broad points. Number one, there's a beautiful balance over the last 2 decades that now we've been able to achieve in our tea farms. This balance where for every pest there's a predator, and you do not have a chemical that is wiping out this ecosystem balance. This over the years has translated into less organic sprays we need to attend to combat pests. So this flora balance is number one. Number two, with organic and the human communities that live in these tea gardens, we have realized that not only is the water more cleaner for all of us to drink, but the people working, and since tea is an extremely human intensive profession, it's healthier for all of us, not only for the people working in these areas, but also for the people drinking tea, because tea, unlike most other commodities, cannot be washed down. You cannot wash and remove the chemicals. You're boiling that water, you're drinking that tea, and that should be safe without any contaminants. And lastly, I think the organic way, to my mind, will be the normal way that we all will understand in the coming years. It is the right way. It is a sustainable way. It is not agriculture that is controlled. It is agriculture seen from a nature's perspective, from a natural eye. So these are the reasons why we believe that organic is our journey forward.
We have a lot of knowledge gained in these last 20 years. So, but you have also a kind of today's approach. So you go further on putting things in a social matter on these plantations and on the tea gardens. So you look forward not only in the conservative have been done here in Darjeeling, but you add some value on this work. So it would be great to have an idea what this is.
The human touch in Darjeeling is the backbone of everything we do, and the good part is that 90% of the people that we work with are women. This is a woman-centric sector, and we're very aware of that. That today, we're sitting in 2016. Times have changed, and people have aspirations. It's not enough when you say that, I will pay this person more, or I'll increase your wage. People need their aspirations to be met. And I think this is not only a problem here, this is a problem globally. You're finding more and more people leaving their farms and migrating to cities. So personally, I think that's being someone from, say, a younger generation. I'm aware of this reality that if we do not create relevant aspirations for the people here, which includes giving them more responsibility, making them feel empowered for their own land, for their own environment, and most importantly, creating a partnership with them, where the people who work for you or who work with you feel that even they have a stake in the journey ahead. So at a very macro level, this is what our philosophy is. We have been at the implementation level. We have been holding a lot of capacity building programs, trying to uplift the ability of the local communities to decide for their own selves, to be aware of the challenges, to be aware of a lot of social influences and challenges in our area. So it's not a short-term achievement that we're looking at. It's a very long, often a very difficult path that we have taken. But I think this is really the only path ahead, where you create partnerships and work with the local community.
Yes, for sure. I agree. Talking about challenges, you also have challenges for sure in the tea gardens, kind of pests and insects, all kind of things. But you are experimenting on different kinds of approaches to get rid of these problems.
There are a lot of challenges. Organic is not easy. You have to be very patient. Unfortunately, in our part of the world, there's not a lot of research that's happened in organic. So, for us, it's a lot of trial and error. That's how we go about these challenges. For instance, if there's a pest attack that is severe, if you were non-organic, you could spray a chemical and eradicate the pest. But once in our organic systems, the pest attack hits a certain threshold, we have to just leave it. And that for a lot of people is not acceptable, of just leaving the pest to eat up the tea leaves. But that's the patience that organic requires. So in order to prevent a situation like that, we have a very decentralized way of working, where the people in our local community, they provide us with feedback, with real-time feedback on where there's a pest that's reaching a dangerous level, and they themselves then provide us the solutions, instead of this being top-down, where we as the so-called management firstly realize and then understand the solution to the problem. So challenges are there. Some are in our hand, such as having these more participatory approaches to the challenges, but some aren't in our hands, and these are issues that we all know very well. Climate change is one very big challenge here now in this part of the world. People you see talking about climate change in big cities and big conferences, and people being aware of these problems, but I still believe that no one has really understood the real danger and the real changes we're seeing in our weather till they visit such ecosystems where the changes is astonishing. Over the last 5 years, if we really have to see some of the data on weather, it will give you sleepless nights. So these are the challenges that are not in our hand and which we have to now somehow adapt to.
So these are the challenges for the growing. So that's one side. But the other side is, of course, the processing and the quality in processing. So you have for sure some secrets in this term, but what do you think are the important issues to get a very high quality organic tea?
Here I would like to specifically talk about Darjeeling tea. Darjeeling tea is not a commodity. It is not something that is just grown and sold. There's a lot of effort that goes into maintaining that Darjeeling quality, what it's known for. This really first starts on the field. It starts with some of our organic practices. We spray different herbal concoctions as nutrients for the bush. If the bush is not healthy, it will not produce the right leaves. So it starts with a lot of food that you first have to give the bush. We have some really intensive composting that we do. We make vermicompost, we make biodynamic compost, which comes under D-meter. We make vegetative compost. So a lot of this quality first starts with the inputs we provide for the bush. From that, once the leaves are plucked, the plucking is planned in a way where we focus on particular traits within bushes. So certain bushes are plucked on certain days of the week to really enhance that particular flavor profile and trait within those bushes. So we call it selective plucking. And once these leaves are plucked, there's a extremely detailed process where firstly the moisture is taken out, and then we give the leaves a slight roll, induce oxidation, where the enzymes are allowed to come out and secrete its juices, and there's a huge human angle involved. It is not an automated process. Every day the humidity levels, the temperatures are different, the leaf is different, the qualities are different, so you have to react differently. And this is what makes Darjeeling unique. It's like producing a new bottle of wine every single day. We take quality very seriously. So from the time the leaves come into our processing units, they're handled extremely carefully. Every batch of tea has a unique trait to it. So once they are made, they are tasted, and a particular description is given to the tea along with its prices.
Yeah, thank you so much for this talk and for getting us into the tea business and into the special things of here of Darjeeling and of Seyok and Selimbong.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Sorry.